we all know this is your second concert in Sydney. So why you have come back just after a year?
Well, I mean, last time we were here and it was quite successful. There was a lot of people on the shows, you know, and I really enjoyed the show. So, you know, I've been invited by my promoters to come again, and why not?
Okay, should the audience expect any different themes from last time?
I made a little bit different choice. I mean, normally I always make a selection of my most popular pieces, but you know, since I was last year here, I always try to have a different pieces and a different classical piece, which I'm going to play this year. It's a Liszt Hungarian Rhapsody.
And I know you went through wars in your childhood, so many the songs you create or you played with is related to the war. So now it's in the peaceful era. So what's your focus on? I mean, the themes you mainly focus on?
I don't know, my most popular song is the Croatian Rhapsody, which is written, Croatian Rhapsody is written by my friend and Croatian composer Tonči Huljić, and it has this element of Croatian national music and folk music. I think that's why, you know, so many of my fans related to this song. But today, when I choose pieces, I don't know, for a long time when I started, my approach was to take famous classical pieces and to do it in a crossover way, like to add, you know, the drums and beats and everything. But today I'm more into looking in the music of like a mainstream music. Like on my last album I did All of Me from John Legend, you know, and Clocks from Coldplay.
Oh, Coldplay.
And then to make these pieces in a classical way. So I completely switched, you know, the approach of my crossover. So we did them with the Philharmonic Orchestra and a little bit less of the bass, but so it sounds more orchestral and more classical.
That's good. What do you think is the best age for people to learn piano?
I started when I was 9, which was a little bit quite late, but then I jumped classes, you know, just to catch up with my colleagues, and not too young, I would say. Maybe 6, 7 would be.
6, 7 would be good.
I think it would be good, but to take it slowly, not too much, you know. I'm not a fan of, you know, children who practice too much and have crazy techniques and stuff like that, because it takes a period, it takes time, you know. You need to. I mean, piano is an art, you know. You need to be mature and to be able to play difficult pieces. It's not all about technique, you know. When I see a child who plays a difficult piece, which I play, for me it's okay, it's technically okay, but you know, he doesn't have the life experience, you know, to understand the structure of this difficult piece, you know, and then it loses all the point.
Yeah. So why do you start to play piano in the first place?
My best friend had a piano at his home, and I was so intrigued with this instrument and always wanted to play. And the interesting thing is none of my members of my family or friends, not even related to classical music, not even, they never heard of classical music, they never have to do anything with it. And I immediately wanted to play this instrument, and I pushed my mom to enroll me in music school, and I knew immediately that I'm going to be a pianist. I was so connected to the instrument, so that was very unusual.
Wow, yes, it's unusual. It's a destiny.
To be,
it's a destiny. Yeah, so I very admire for the people, and who really insist on what he like, and even become an expert in the particular area, like you are very successful now. So how to turn the hobby into a career? What do you think?
I always say, you know, I'm so lucky, you know, because I've been dealing with this. This is the only thing I know how to do. This is the only thing I wanted to do in my life, and eventually to become so successful doing the thing which I love and always wanted to do. It's really a huge luck, you know. It took me a long time, and I worked so hard to become what I am today and where I am today. And so, I mean, my path was very, very long, you know. It's not like it happened overnight, but, you know, still I think I'm really, really lucky. You know?
So what's the hardest time, I mean, in your life to play the piano?
Well, I mean, I was 26 when I signed my contract with my manager, Mel Bush, and my record companies, but by 26, you know, it was really tough. It was really difficult. I lived in Paris and I studied at conservatory, and it was really difficult. You know, I had some scholarships and I couldn't finance myself, and it was quite.
Wow.
stressful.
Okay, so could you give some advice for the beginners, for the piano beginners?
Well, I mean, it's an advice for the kids, and also even more important for the teachers, you know, because you need to always say intrigue, you know, young people with like pieces. They need to choose pieces which they like and they can connect to, you know, and to take it easy. The practicing is the hardest part, you know, because with the instrumental practicing, you know, it takes so much time. And just to be creative, to find the different ways of practicing, you know, so to make your practice every time different, you know, and more interesting. For example, like me, I play, you know, pieces which I played a million times on the show, you know. When I start practicing, I practice it so many times. I always try to find some other way how to practice it in a different way, so it's not always the same, you know, just to make it more interesting.
Okay, so last month you and Ouyang Nana, you performed together in the Mid-Autumn Festival, and so can you share something about your experience performing with her, your feelings? Yeah.
Oh, she's such a nice girl, and she's very talented, you know. And
yeah, she's talented.
Yeah. It was great. We played my song "Victory," my song, not mine, but Tonchi Hulic, who had written that song for me. And it was great. I always like to. It was such a huge event, you know.
And
the other thing which I did is the CCTV Spring Festival Gala, you know. And I always felt, you know, just to be a part of that huge, enormous production and show. It was amazing, you know. All my, you know, people who collaborate with me and work with me were all like, "Oh my God, look at this! And this is huge," you know. Because you know, in China, all these big shows, they're really big, and there's a lot of, you know, people involved in it and a lot of time invested in these shows, and you can tell. So we were all very, very impressed and privileged to be part of such a big show.
But some people on the internet, they said you interpret music entirely differently. Maybe one is very soft, completely classical, and one is passionate, it's crossover, so maybe it's not much so well. What would you say to that?
Well, I mean, I always keep my two careers going in the same time, because I never left my classical music, and on all of my crossover shows I like to present a couple of pieces of classical music. So when I play classical music, I would say I'm quite different.
It's quite different.
Interpreter than when I play crossover, you know, because crossover is very dynamic, and I play it with my band, and it looks like a pop concert. But classical is more calm. I need to have more concentration, and I don't go so wild, you know, when I play classical music. It's a different thing for me.
Okay. Actually, we all like your strong expressiveness on the stage, and we are curious about when you practice in private, do you have the same passion as on the stage?
When I practice, then I take it down. I analyze its structure, and I isolate the problems, you know, and then I practice and work on problems. So I don't practice in the same way as I perform.
Oh.
You know, because you know
I guess so.
I put the pieces in little you know, pieces, and then practice them separately. Otherwise, I would lose so much energy.
Yeah,
because I practice.
It's maybe quite exhausting. A lot, so. Maybe you use the same passion. Okay, so
sometimes, but you know, most of the times I practice slower and in the different ways.
Do you have any favorite Chinese musicians or singers?
Chinese songs, I play Yellow River, which is so famous, and I play it actually on this tour. I play it on the concerts.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, so every time I start, you know, my audience start to clap, you know, because they obviously
they're very familiar with that.
And I like to incorporate like traditional instruments, Chinese instruments in my music, especially on the last album. On the song New Silk Road, I have erhu, and I have a Chinese flute, and you know, I have a lot of fans in China, you know, so this is like a thank you, you know, to their loyal support, which I am fortunate enough to have for many, many years now.
Actually, we have some clips we want to show you. So the first one is from Cai徐坤. He's just 21 years old. And here's another. It's a very old song.
rock.
Yeah. And this one's called Mom. So which one do you like the most?
Between this one and the first one, I would say.
Between this one and the first one? So it will be...
Yeah, Thai maybe. Or maybe this one is interesting.
Maybe this one?
Yeah,
You mean the last one?
Yeah, because it uses like a Chinese instrument, which I really like.
Cool. And the last clip I want to show you is a piano battle. Yeah. So do you like this kind of, performance? Actually,
yeah, it's quite interesting.
And he is the very famous singer called Jay Chou.
Ah, Jay Chou,
you know
of course,
Jay
yeah, I know, yeah.
You know?
I didn't recognize him.
Wow,
I think I met him a long time ago.
Oh, really?
We did some show together for the MTV or something. He's very talented, and he's as a pianist and singer and an actor, yeah.
If you have a chance to collaborate with Jay Chou, do you want to do it?
Probably, I think he's very talented, yeah.
Okay, you're always traveling abroad to perform, so we want to know a little about your daily routine. So when do you usually get up, and how much time will you spend on practicing when you travel?
Normally on the day of the practice, I don't do rehearsals and I don't practice. I mostly want to relax. I rarely even leave my hotel on the day of the show because I'm very disciplined. I need a lot of energy, you know, for the evening's concert. So I rest a lot, but you know, the day before, you know, we travel all the day, you know, because my tours are mostly like every second day I have a show, and every second day we travel.
Yeah.
So when it's the day of the show, I sleep very long. I go to sleep quite late. I like night. I'm a night person, so I wake up quite late.
Oh.
And then maybe swimming pool or something like that, just to relax.
Actually, we have a big fan of you. She also has some questions for us.
Hi, Maksim. My name is Candy. I'm your huge fan. I went to your concert in Sydney Opera House last year.
Really?
It was really awesome. I really liked the flight of the bumblebee, and actually I tried to practice at home. However, it's really hard. Like, I have to move my fingers really fast, and 2 hours later, I just can't feel my hand. Can't feel my finger. Yeah. I feel like I lose my finger. In this case, would your hands feel hurt after a concert?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, it's not the hands. This is the problem. You know, this muscle here.
Oh.
So this muscle here. That's why, you know, on the day of the show and the day before, I can't go to the gym and I can't lift anything heavy. Because when I practice, you know, then these muscles are quite sensitive and they get quite stiff. And if they're stiff, then I can't have the motorics which I normally have. So I really need to be careful. But sometimes I bruise my hands if I get carried away. Sometimes there's a blood on the keys. If I get carried away so much, which sometimes happens when I play, I go some different worlds and then I don't even realize, and then I see like there's blood on my keys.
Wow, you're so into it.
I get carried away.
Yeah, it impressed a lot of people that you can play 16 notes in a second. How you usually relax your hand?
Relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
By not practicing.
Just stop practicing.
Yeah, I don't have. I mean, I have some special creams if I have problems with my muscles, you know, and
Okay.
In the swimming pool, it's quite good. That's why I like swimming pools, because under the water, you know, your muscles are much more relaxed, you know, and they flex in a different way. So if they're stiff, you know, my hands, then swimming is quite good for me.
Okay. So is there any breakthrough now? Like you can hit 17 notes in a second?
No, I mean, it wasn't my idea. I was recording the Flight of a Bumblebee, but you know, the one which you all guys know, which is a crossover version, that's much slower. The original Bumblebee version is much faster.
Yeah.
So I was playing that, and then my producers recorded it, and they counted, because they couldn't believe, you know, and they counted that I play 16 notes a second.
Wow.
What would you do if you don't play piano in the future?
I don't know. That's a quite difficult question for me, because that was the only thing which I always wanted to do, you know, so I never imagined myself doing. I mean, my big passion is architecture, you know, but it's not something, you know, what I would do. I'm passionate about architecture, but
That's interesting.
Oh. You have been to many Chinese cities this year.
Probably all of them.
Yeah. So which one do you like the most? Which city
I don't know,
impressed
I like
you?
Kunming a lot, yeah, the province of Kunming, that side, and then Dalian, I like Hangzhou, I like Guangdong province a lot, obviously Beijing, Shanghai.
Cool. So have you, do you like Chinese food?
Yeah, I mean, Chinese food is so diverse, you know, China is such a big country, so, you know, from Sichuan to Guangdong, it's completely different.
So which one do you like? Can you tell us
I mean, yeah, I like all of them, like different bits and pieces from all these different. But Sichuan I like because I like spicy, so I'm quite.
You like spicy?
I like challenges.
Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, do you like this one, the spicy Sichuan hot pot?
Hot pot, yeah.
Have you ever tried that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it?
Dangerously hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about this one?
This one, yeah, is dog snack.
No.
No, definitely no.
Don't eat next.
It's a food in Wuhan. Yeah.
Wuhan.
Yeah. And this one, this one's Peking duck.
Beijing duck.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Your favorite?
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, cool. And this one's dim sum.
Dim sum, I love.
Yeah. You love it?
Yeah, and fried dim sum, you know, like a fried. Like,
Okay, so this one, have you ever tried that? The steamed buns.
Steamed buns, yeah, of course, yeah. With the soup inside, is it?
Yeah. Last question. So, what's your goals for the next few years? You plan for the
I don't know. I mean, I always think, you know, I always like challenge to come to the country where I've never been before and to meet the fans and to present my music. And I know that next year we have American tour, which I didn't play much in America and Canada and a lot of other countries. Next year is going to be really, really busy, as I understand.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe in a year or two I'm going to start working on my new album because it's been 2 years since I did my last album. So it's always quite challenging, you know. I did 11 albums and altogether there are like 140 songs which are recorded, you know. So there's not much, you know, many songs in classical music which I could do more, but it's always a challenge, you know, and interesting to find, you know, which pieces I would do for my new albums.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, we all expect the new album.
Me too.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.